The Zodiac Killer. Just the name sends shivers down your spine, right? The mere mention of his name evokes a sense of dread and unease. Active in the late 60s and early 70s, this guy terrorized Northern California. Unsolved murders, cryptic messages. He was a phantom, striking fear into the hearts of many. He was like a real-life horror movie, leaving everyone wondering who he was and who his next victim would be. The uncertainty was paralyzing. Imagine, living in the shadow of that fear. Every day, looking over your shoulder, wondering if you might be next. We're talking about a time when things were a little more groovy, you know? The era was marked by peace movements and a sense of freedom. Bell-bottoms, lava lamps, the whole shebang. It was a time of cultural revolution and vibrant expression, but beneath that veneer of peace and love, a darkness lurked, a sinister presence that no one could quite put their finger on. The Zodiac Killer shattered the tranquility, replacing it with fear and uncertainty. The idyllic facade of the 60s was cracked. This wasn't just some common thug, he was methodical, calculating, and chillingly precise. The Zodiac, oh no, he was a showman. He craved attention and reveled in the chaos he created. He loved toying with the police, the press, the public. His games were a twisted form of entertainment. He'd send these cryptic letters full of ciphers and symbols, claiming responsibility for his crimes and threatening more. Each letter was a taunt, a challenge. Talk about adding insult to injury. The authorities were left scratching their heads, unable to crack his codes. He became a media sensation, this enigmatic figure hiding in plain sight. The public was both terrified and fascinated. The Zodiac Killer wasn't just a murderer, he was a puzzle, a riddle that no one could solve. His ciphers remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries, and to this day, his true identity remains a mystery. The enigma of the Zodiac Killer continues to haunt us, a dark chapter in the history of the Golden State. The Zodiac Killer's confirmed victims were young couples, targeted in secluded areas. These were places where they thought they could find some privacy and peace, but instead, they found terror and death. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, teenagers enjoying their first date, were gunned down in Benicia. Their promising young lives were cut short in a brutal and senseless act of violence that left the community in shock. Just a few months later, Michael Mageau and Darlene Ferrin were attacked in Vallejo. The couple was ambushed while sitting in their car, a place they thought was safe. Michael miraculously survived, providing valuable information about the killer's appearance. His description was crucial in creating a composite sketch that would become infamous. Then there was Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, attacked while picnicking at Lake Berryessa. They were enjoying a peaceful day by the lake when the Zodiac struck again. He bound them and stabbed them repeatedly. The brutality of the attack was shocking, even to seasoned investigators. Cecilia tragically succumbed to her injuries, while Brian, though critically wounded, survived to describe the assailant and his bizarre costume. His account added a new, chilling dimension to the Zodiac's profile. These attacks sent shockwaves through California. People were terrified. The sense of safety in their own communities was shattered. Parents wouldn't let their kids go out alone. The fear was palpable, and it changed the way people lived their daily lives. Couples thought twice about romantic drives. The Zodiac had turned something as simple as a date into a potential death sentence. The Zodiac had tapped into something primal, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being hunted. His reign of terror left an indelible mark on the psyche of the nation, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. Now here's where things get really creepy. The Zodiac didn't just want to kill, he wanted to play games. He started sending letters to newspapers, bragging about his crimes and threatening more violence if they weren't printed. Can you imagine being an editor, holding a letter from a killer in your hands? These letters, often handwritten in a strange, almost childlike script, became his calling card. They were filled with misspellings, bizarre phrases, and of course the ciphers coded messages that he claimed held his true identity. He seemed to revel in the attention, in the fear he was generating. With every letter, the public's fascination and dread grew. Who was this twisted individual hiding behind cryptic messages and acts of unspeakable violence? One cipher in particular stood out, the 408-symbol cipher. This intricate puzzle was unlike anything seen before, a true enigma that captured the attention of many. This beast was mailed to the San Francisco Chronicle in November 1969. The arrival of the cipher sent shockwaves through the newsroom, sparking a frenzy of curiosity and fear. It took codebreakers, amateur sleuths, and armchair detectives weeks to crack it. Each symbol, each line was meticulously analyzed, with everyone hoping to be the one to unlock its secrets. Can you imagine the anticipation, the hope that this would be the break in the case? The tension was palpable, with every new theory bringing a mix of excitement and dread. And when they finally deciphered it, the moment of truth had arrived and everyone held their breath, waiting for the revelation. Well, it wasn't the grand confession everyone was hoping for. Instead of a clear admission of guilt or a clue to the killer's identity, it was something far more disturbing. Instead, it was a rambling, misspelled rant about slaves and the afterlife. The message was chaotic, filled with errors, yet its meaning was unmistakably sinister. "I like to collect slaves for my afterlife," it read, sending chills down the spines of everyone who read it. The words were haunting, a glimpse into a deranged mind. It was a chilling glimpse into the mind of a madman. The cipher revealed not just a killer, but a person who found pleasure in the macabre and the terrifying. The message confirmed what everyone feared. The Zodiac Killer was not only a murderer, but a sadist, who derived pleasure from fear and suffering. This revelation added a new layer of horror to an already terrifying case, leaving everyone involved with a sense of dread and urgency to catch the killer before he struck again. Section 5. The elusive Phantom, 37, victims and counting. The Zodiac claimed to have killed 37 people. Was he exaggerating? Trying to inflate his own ego? We may never know. But even if only a fraction of those claims were true, it paints a picture of a killer more prolific and more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. The fear was palpable. People were on edge, looking over their shoulders, wondering if they might be the next victim. The Zodiac had become a boogeyman, a real-life monster lurking in the shadows. He had transformed himself into a legend, a terrifying enigma that continues to fascinate and horrify to this day. Section 6. Forensic frustration, the Zodiac stays one step ahead. The police were working around the clock, desperate to catch this guy. Fingerprints, handwriting analysis, witness testimonies, they threw everything they had at the case. But the Zodiac was always one step ahead, vanishing into thin air like a ghost. He seemed to delight in taunting the authorities, leaving behind false clues, misdirecting investigations, and reveling in his ability to outsmart everyone. It was a game of cat and mouse, and the mouse was winning. Section 7. The Cipher Challenge, cracking the code of silence. Remember those ciphers? Some are still unsolved to this day. Can you imagine the frustration? It's like having a locked diary filled with secrets but not having the key. Over the years, countless armchair detectives, cryptography enthusiasts, and even supercomputers have tried to crack the remaining codes. Some believe they hold the key to his identity. Others think they're just gibberish, the ramblings of a madman. But the allure remains. The possibility that somewhere within those jumbled symbols lies the answer to the mystery that has haunted us for decades. Section 8. A symbol of terror, the Zodiac's calling card. The Zodiac had a flair for the dramatic, you see. He didn't just send letters, oh no, he marked his territory, his letters, and even some of his victims' clothing with a chilling symbol, a circle with a cross through it, like a gun sight. It became a symbol of terror, instantly recognizable, a constant reminder of the killer's presence. It was as if he was branding his work, leaving his mark on the world in the most horrific way imaginable. Section 9. The legacy of a ghost, unanswered questions linger. The Zodiac Killer vanished as quickly as he appeared. No confirmed victims after 1969. No more taunting letters. Did he die, disappear, start a new life? We may never know. But his legacy lives on. The unsolved murders, the undeciphered codes. He became a ghost story, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Section 10. The Zodiac in popular culture, a macabre fascination. The Zodiac Killer has become a cultural phenomenon. Books, movies, documentaries, everyone seems to be fascinated by this unsolved mystery. He's the ultimate true crime enigma, a puzzle that refuses to be solved. And perhaps that's the reason he continues to fascinate us. The unknown is both terrifying and alluring. We crave answers, closure, a sense of justice. But with the Zodiac, those answers remain elusive, leaving us with more questions than answers. Section 11. Conclusion. The mystery endures. The Zodiac Killer's reign of terror might be over, but his shadow still looms large. He remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, of the evil that men do. Will we ever unmask this enigmatic figure? Will we finally crack the code of silence and bring justice to his victims? The answer, my friends, remains shrouded in mystery, but one thing's for sure, the legend of the Zodiac Killer will continue to fascinate and horrify us for generations.